What's up to Lion Talk Live? So we love you too, buddy.
What's going on, guys? It is Aiden Hutchinson.
What's up, everybody? It's Calvin Johnson Jr. here, a.k.a. Megatron, a.k.a. First Ballot.
What's up, man? It's your boy Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Greetings and salutations to everyone out there in YouTube land. This is Dan Skipper, offensive weapon for the Detroit Lions. Make sure you all help support Lions Talk Live, Coach Dan, by clicking on that like and subscribe button. Everybody, woo!
I love nothing more than watching Lions Talk Live every morning. Woo!
Woo!
Well, greetings and salutations, everybody out there in YouTube land. I am your host once again, Dan Thornton, and I want to thank you all for joining us here today. Hey, it's Lions Talk Live. It's the start of the week. It's Monday, and you know what? We've only got a couple more days to the second preseason game of the year. Hey, if you didn't know, the Lions already announced the starting quarterback for that second preseason game, and it is going to be Hendon Hooker. My anticipation, like a lot of people in the Duke crew have been talking about since the Hall of Fame game, the coaching staffs are going to want to see how he does with maybe a little bit higher talent around him, et cetera, et cetera. I think we all pretty much agree we know what we're going to get with Kyle Adams out there. You know what he's got. And yes, he's going to have to work on some timing stuff, but you know what? That stuff will take care of itself as training camp goes forward. But what do you have with Hendon Hooker? We're going to dive into a few different things during the main topic of the day. One of them is give credit where credit is definitely due with this organization. This organization seems to find talent anywhere. And while it's only been one real practice, I guess you could say, the Lions may have found a bit of an argument for who could be one of the backup people on their depth chart, especially at the tackle position. What I try to pay attention to as a coach may not be what you pay attention to as coach. Only thing I can say is when the Lions originally went out and added this guy a couple days ago, Justin Herron from the Raiders. I got to get used to saying Vegas Raiders. I still want to say LA Raiders. But anyways, that's a different story. Hey, pay attention to what coaches do. They moved him all around. He got a whole lot of run at left tackle, whole lot of run at right tackle. You know what? All the different reports from everybody there watching said the same thing. The guy really balled out to the point where he started getting some second team reps. Again, we'll go into this during the main topic today because I think not just him, but the Lions may have found a couple other people that have really, this team's going to be deep. You get it. I get it. Jim Harbaugh talked about it after the Hall of Fame game. He was very complimentary about the Lions. He was like, what he was impressed with is every time they went to some new guys, those guys had talent. And you know what? The Lions might have just got even more talented. All right, before we get into the 5 headlines, before we get into the main topic of the day, real quick, hey, if you haven't yet subscribed to Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so. We are 30 subs away from hitting 14,100. I'd like to get there, so if you can help us reach that goal, man, I would owe you a Mountain Dew. Also, if you have a half second of time, it doesn't cost you anything. Reach on down, hit the thumbs up button, the like button. We try to get every episode of the show between 2, 3, 400 or more thumbs up or likes. Last but most certainly never least, if you're looking, perhaps now that winter is not that far away, fall is in the air. Are you looking for window cleaning? Your home washed, gutters cleaned, maybe again with fall coming here and then winter soon after there. Maybe the holiday lights put up. Go ahead and visit CustomShineWindowCleaning.com or call Tom and McKenzie at 248-363-1911. They've been servicing Greater Oakland County since 1997. They're going to give you a real good job. They're going to make sure you're happy with their work and they perform. Hey, and you know what? They're two pretty cool people too. So they are longtime Duke Crew listeners, watchers, viewers, members, whatever you want to say. So hey, support your own, support Duke Crew members. Go ahead and give them a call, shoot them a text, and see what they can do for you. All right, with all that done, said, rocking and out here, let's get the show rolling and kicking off with 5 headlines now. All right, 5 glorious headlines coming our way, and I think we got some good ones to say. We're going to start off with Lions Practice Notebook Day 9, getting sharp after the preseason opener. Jeff Risdon, Lions Wire with this one. Jeff, you guys know it. He covers this team for a living. That's all he does. He's kind of like a Terminator for the Detroit Lions news. He had some real good news and notes out there about the team. Offensive tackle shuffle. We've already talked about it a little bit. Starting left tackle, Taylor Decker, practiced for the first time all summer. Decker has been idle while recovering from off-season shoulder surgery. Took his first steps to getting back. He was officially activated from the PUP list. You know what? They're going to be real cautious with him, I'm guessing, until they will feel a lot more confidence with him. But at least he's starting the progression. They came out and said, MCDC, a couple weeks ago, that after the Hall of Fame game is when we should expect to see Decker resume work on the field, and you know what? He's living up to that. First team reps also went out to Jamarco Jones, who did swing once again from left tackle to right tackle. Giovanni Manu took second team reps, followed by Haran, who I already mentioned. We'll talk about him during the main topic day, along with a couple other guys that I think have really stepped up. Maybe, again, give credit where credit's due. Lions, whether you're talking about their ability to scout the draft or in league free agency, you know, they just seem to hit all around. The other good thing I'd like to say real quick is you are hearing more and more reporters talk about who, you know, someone like Jeff Risdon, or say Giovanni Manu is looking noticeably better. He started the first couple of days of training camp looking a little bit rough, but every day you can see him looking more polished, you know, productive out there. He's not getting ran over. He looks like he is ascending. Does that mean he's going to start a game this year? I don't know. My assumption would be when Skipper is healthy, they're probably going with him first at left tackle. But the fact that you see Giovanni now starting to get into the second team, starting to maybe even get a couple snaps to the first team. And then, of course, you've got the longtime veteran of the NFL, Jamarco Jones, also getting reps. Lions might have a lot more depth at the tackle position than many people anticipated going into the season. Some people would have even said maybe it was one of the bigger question marks on the team. I'm starting to think between Taylor Decker, Giovanni Manu, Haran, Jamarco Jones, you might have more than enough depth to get you through the season, assuming there aren't a gajillion injuries or anything like that. Some other notes from Jeff Risdon. Terry Arnold would miss a couple of practices to deal with some minor hamstring injuries. You guys have been aware of that, so not a big issue there. What I did think was interesting, DiCaprio Battle wound up getting the larger percentage of the first team reps at one of the ex-cornerbacks, replacing Arnold. He is somebody I thought, man, if he's around for 2 or 3 weeks, you probably got everything you could out of him, because I just don't think he's going to be anything more than a journeyman camp body guy to just try to help keep some reps off some of the main guys. That being said, DiCaprio has gone out there and he's proven his worth. He even locked up to Jameson Williams, reportedly, in a couple different one-on-one drills. So give him some credit. This guy, he might be just a camp body, but he's giving it all out there, and the coaches are rewarding him with first-team reps. So that's outstanding. We'll go into some stuff with Enos Rakestraw a little bit later in another one of the headlines, but right now, also pay attention to Rakia Singh. We've got a segment and even a little bit of a video for you guys. We'll see if YouTube yells at me about that one. All right, going on from that, Lions need see more from backup quarterback Hendon Hooker, who will start next preseason game. Michael Davis-Smith of Pro Football Focus with this one. So here's what we can say. We all get Hendon Hooker right now. He's an enigma to a lot of Lions fans. You go out and watch him in training camp, you see some real good stuff. Man, that guy should have been a first-round pick. You see some other stuff and go, man, that guy should have even been picked. Lions coaching staff, I think, is doing him a real big solid here and saying, hey, we're going to let you start this next game. We want to throw everything at you. And they've come out and even talked about and said, we're going to test him. We're going to give him an opportunity to run with basically the best players we're going to put in a preseason game, and let's see what he can do. I know some of the Duke crew said, man, it's hard to evaluate him because he's out there with guys like in the Hall of Fame game. Some of those guys, maybe even most of those guys, won't even be on an NFL team in a month from now. So what is he going to be able to do with guys that aren't going to just be on an NFL team, but probably playing meaningful snaps? That's what we're going to find out. We're going to probably have a lot more answers to questions regarding him. The Lions invested a little bit trading up to get him a couple years back. They've now invested tons of seasons in his development. He looks great at times. He doesn't look great at times. Can he look more consistent between now and the start of the regular season? That's the biggest question everybody needs to get an answer to, because you need to make a decision here. I don't personally think the Lions are going to cover or carry 3 quarterbacks. That would not be, for the most part, their norm during the MCDC window. If they do, good for them, but I do think they're going to only ride with 2 guys, and that means, hey, either Allen or Hooker's out of here in a few weeks. We'll see what shakes out, but I'm wishing him well. I hope Hendon Hooker does very, very well. I think that's ultimately the best case scenario for the Detroit Lions. All right, Lions newcomer fired up 3-word take on Kelvin Shepard's defensive system in Detroit. Athlon Sports' Nikki Meyer with this one. You know what? We're going to try something a little bit different here. And yes, I know YouTube is probably going to yell at me about it. So if it doesn't work this time, at least I can say I tried. So we'll see if they put me in timeout or talk poorly about my mama about this.
Yeah, I mean, just being multiple, being a versatile guy, just trying to show them what I can do, show my teammates what I can do, being an asset to the team in any way that I can help this team win. I want to do it. I think I fit it well. I mean, it's an aggressive defense, play a lot of man. We do a lot of different things. It's aggressive as hell. I love that part about it. It's a technically sound defense. It's a really good defense. Shep's calling it well. It's a good system here. Yeah, I mean, just being multiple,
All right, there we go. Sorry about that. I got to hit less buttons. Maybe that would help. Anyways, you get it. So Rock Ya-Sin comes out, talks about how the Lions are going to use him, talks about Kelvin Shepard and the defense, some of the things we can anticipate, some of the things you saw in the Hall of Fame game, and my guess is throughout the rest of the preseason, you're going to see, as he pointed out, just a mixture of different defenses. He likes it here. He likes the coaching staff. He likes everything he's seen out of Shep as far as the defensive coordinator. I think the Lions, they're probably holding back a few things for the regular season. They don't want to tip teams off a ton. But when you watched him last week in the Hall of Fame game, I don't think there was any question marks why the Lions want to add him to the team and why he's probably going to make the 53-man roster. He can cover. He can definitely hit. He supports the run. He sets an edge. There's not a whole lot of downside to him that I can see. I guess if you guys have comments on him, you let me know what your thoughts are. All right, Lions activating Taylor Decker from Publis, NFL trade rumors, Wyatt Gendry with this one. Didn't want to spend a lot of time on this one because we kind of already talked about it a little bit, but they do want to point out a couple different things here. What Decker's owed and what he's owed going forward. I only bring this up because if the Lions keep multiple of these apparently pretty good left tackles, it does bring into question one simple thing, as this reporter is pointing out. How long is Taylor Decker going to remain with the Detroit Lions? Decker was set to earn a base salary of we'll just round down slightly and say $10 million. Then the Lions gave him a new contract. Detroit re-signed Decker once again in July 24 with both sides agreeing on a 3-year, $60 million extension. In 24, Decker played and starting off 14 games at left tackle. We all get that. Last year, this upcoming year, it's expected that he should be pretty good, maybe even better than last year because he did get the shoulder worked on. But as we also know, he's getting up there in age a little bit. He's had a few injuries throughout his career. My question to the Duke crew when it comes to Taylor Decker is Wyatt correct in that this could be the final season you see Taylor Decker with the Detroit Lions? I'm not so sure. I think he could play out the contract. Maybe I could have just said that off the beginning, but hey, whatever. Decker's 31, going to be 32 during the season. We'll wait and see what happens. But the Lions obviously invested quite a bit in getting Giovanni Manu. Is he going to replace Decker next year? Could Jamarco Jones, I guess Haran, if he really pans out, could he be a replacement? Or do the Lions just say, hey, we're going to let you play out your contract and then make an assessment from there? Me, my own personal opinion is that Taylor Decker's probably fulfilling his contract, assuming there's no big injury for him, and then the team would have to make a choice. All right, last of the 5 headlines now. Lions cornerback leaves practice early, and I didn't want to really talk about this, but hey, it is a story. Safety returns. Detroit Lions on SI by John Macron. Rakestraw, Enos Rakestraw, we all get it, man. He's had some injuries already in his career, as short as it has been. And yes, he left again yesterday with another chest contusion. It's unclear at this point if it's the same contusion that he suffered a few weeks ago. My assumption is the answer to that is yes, but it has not been fully confirmed. The other good part of this story, as you're probably guessing, is that Kirby Joseph was a first-team All-Pro selection after leading the league in interceptions last year, got back in action in practices looked fine. No signs of any kind of holding back of him in practice. Also returning were Amik Robertson and Taylor Decker. Obviously, you already knew about Taylor Decker. Amik the Freak Robertson, hey, he didn't show any kind of ill signs of injuries. Neither did Joseph. Both of them look like they're back at full strength. While, again, people watching didn't have any kind of clarity on Rakestraw. He was being evaluated for yet another contusion, maybe even a shoulder injury after going on one-on-one drills. And that's going to bring a lot of questions up because this guy just can't seem to stay on the field very often. Why that is, I don't know, but this guy needs to have a stretch where he gets back on the field for training camp and is solid for several weeks. The Lions are pretty deep at cornerback, and I don't think there's any chance they're going to cut him or whatever. But he is going to lose out on a bunch of meaningful snaps if he can't be on the practice field, if he can't play in the preseason games. Think back to TA last year, Terrion Arnold. Think about all the growth he had to go through during games, learning how to use his hands and not use his hands, the footwork, how to guard people. Rakestraw missed out on a lot of that last year because of his injuries, and now he's missing more time, meaningful time early in camp. I would say it's starting to be a red flag for me, but what are your thoughts, Duke Crew, on him? Joseph, I think we all agree having him and Amik Robinson back in the field, that's just a big win for the Lions. Probably sooner versus later, you guys are going to hear stuff about them making plays. Both of them are a bit of play makers. All right, from all that done, said, out of the way, let's get on over and get the Duke Crew over to the main topic of the day. I can't fit everything into a thumbnail. And if I do, it just gets too crowded. So I just did put stuff about Haran up there, and we'll start with him. We'll move on to some of the other guys that it sounds like the Lions have hit some massive home runs on. From, again, you're taking this from a culmination of different reporters watching him out there. So Haran, you guys probably know, cut by the Raiders, was kind of left for dead or whatever. Lions brought him in only because Dan Skipper's injury. Well, you know what? Haran might have taken that cut from the Raiders and said, hey, this is my last opportunity here. I need to prove it. Because all reports were yesterday, he was destroying people. He was out there running around, like pants on fire, whatever you want to say. He was out there trying to impress the team. And why wouldn't he? If he believes this is his last opportunity, he's going to play to every bit of ability he has in his body because he's going to want to remain with the team. All the different reporters I looked at, whether it was Jeff Risden or whoever, said they swung him from left tackle, right tackle, trying him out, and everybody said he looked superlative out there. Why would this matter? Well, the Lions, like we talked about during the 5 headlines now, the start of training camp, one of the bigger weaknesses probably identified for the team was the offensive line. Or maybe we shouldn't even say weaknesses, question marks for the team. If he really pans out enough to where they're going to keep him, if he continues this level of play for the next month or so and then into the regular season, what kind of flexibility does that now give you across the offensive line? Well, you're saying, hey, Haran, hey, that's one guy, right? Well, not so fast. Like I said, I can't fit everybody into a thumbnail. Let's also talk about Kobe Sorsdale. Sorsdale continues his rise and ascension in training camp. Reporters also said he looked like one of the better interior offensive linemen yesterday. Think about what I just said, interior offensive linemen. They did play him at tackle a lot yesterday in practice. They also swung him inside. Why do they swing him inside? Jamarco Jones is playing very well at both tackle spots. So is Haran. And Giovanni Manu, for the most part, they left at left tackle, although he did get apparently a couple snaps at right tackle. So the tackle situation with Taylor Decker back, with Skipper, we're assuming when that ankle heals up, he's going to be back in the mix. Think about all the names you just listed out there at the tackle spot. What is one of the bigger weaknesses or assumed weaknesses for the Lions? It's going to be the interior. Sorsdale is also, like I said, ascending. He's hitting that year marker where, hey, it seems like a lot of Lions draft picks that are kind of lower late round picks, they go one or two directions. You're either going to be a Hall of Fame potential candidate, apparently, for this organization, or you're going to be a pretty dang good backup. He seems like he's going to be a pretty dang good backup who offers a lot of versatility. But you're saying, well, Dan, that's all good news. And I'm going to say, not so fast. We got a little bit more. I didn't want to put him in the thumbnail because I feel like we talk about him so much. And hey, no disrespect to the kid. He is a prize rookie player that everybody has interest in. And you know what? Yeah, apparently yesterday, he's earning more interest from those viewing. And that is edging out. You guys probably know Ahmed Hassani. Hassani might end up being in that rotation a lot sooner. You heard all sorts of different reporters watching yesterday saying the same stuff. he is developing quickly with his hand placement. We all agree he's got the motor, he's got the desire to improve, but now you can see where the technique's starting to come up with his hand placement. He was making it more and more difficult for even Jamarco Jones or some of the veteran tackles to keep him at bay. The Lions started moving him out wide into a wide 9 technique more and more, often like they do with Hutch. If you guys pay attention on key passing downs, Hutch goes more to a wide 9 technique, and he gets around, uses his speed and his power, causes a lot of issues for tackles. They're starting to do that with Hassanin more and more. You saw some of that in the Hall of Fame game, especially when teams ran opposite of him or they were anticipating going opposite. They were allowing him to slide out more. Hassanin, if he continues to ascend at this rate, I think it's a reasonable expectation. We talked during the offseason how Vegas was putting him up at least on the boards to be some sort of consideration for defensive rookie of the year. They might be more right than we all know. And I get those places are built on winnings, not losses, all the casinos. But Hassanin, whether you go by whoever's film study breakdown of the Hall of Fame game, whether you go by people just watching the practices, I think this will be a big next 2 weeks for him because you guys know we have so many joint practices coming up with the Dolphins and everything else, plus the preseason games. If he's really able to process information this quickly and pick up techniques and apply it in games, I don't think he's going to be a starter this year. Of course, I've been wrong before, but I think he's probably cracking the top 4 rotation at some point this season for the defensive ends. He stops the run well. He anticipates well. He flows down the line of scrimmage well. To me, the biggest thing is when you leave him one-on-one, and I think everybody watching this probably agrees, whoever is opposite Hutchinson is probably going to get a lot of one-on-one opportunities. If he can just win, I'll say 30 to 40% of those, he's probably getting a ton of run. Right there, those are 3 guys that seem to be trending upwards very quickly. And maybe I should throw DiCaprio Bottle in there because, you know what, he did get a bunch of first-team reps. I didn't even consider that to right now. But you are seeing the strength of this coaching staff starting to emerge in players. They love taking players other people have missed, didn't consider. They coach them up, and you get something out of them. Jake Bates is another one you can throw out there. Let this sink in. He went 7 out of 9 from over 60 yards apparently yesterday. He was crushing the ball. They did talk to reporters. He had an interview. I thought about throwing in the 5 headlines now, but I was like, I'll just kind of mention that here or there where I can. His one thing last year, I think most would agree, he's got a leg. Nobody's going to doubt that. It's just some of the accuracy, probably taking a deep breath, letting the game get familiar to him so it's no longer a big thing. He came through swimmingly as a rookie. Well, you know what? Reports are he's looking more firm, more confident, and adding more strength to his kicks. I find that hard to believe that he could add more strength because what's this guy going to do? Start hitting 80-yard field goals? If he can, man, hey, you get the opening kickoff, you might just want to let him kick it from there. We'll have to wait and see, but it's nice to see Bates is still developing, and that says a lot for him. All right, let's get over to you guys in the Duke Crew comments section. I feel like I've rambled on probably way too long, but let me scroll to the top of the screen. Give me a second. I'm still scrolling, and here we go. Moon Scar Blake, good morning. Duke Crew, starting lineup, exclamation point. Woo! And good to see you, my friend, as always. Shamir, greetings, salutations, Duke Crew. Good to see you, man. It feels like it's been a hot second since I've seen you in the comment section. Thank you for joining us once again. JDC, morning all, and back at you. Jess, who we got now? Question mark. Brad just does not stop, does he? No, he doesn't, man. And we all have watched Brad Holmes long enough now. You get it. It doesn't matter what time of year it is. He's going to try to find talent. There was a report out that they were trying to get some guy from the Philippines in for a workout, but that would have to be the next pro day workout. I don't know the full story on it. I know the Lions coaching department apparently is trying to get some views on some guy from the Philippines who's apparently, 300 some odd pounds and a bit of a monster. We'll see if that happens. Bo, good morning, Duke Crew. I love some surprises. Woo! Well, we got a few surprises for you. It's been a minute. Yes, it has, man, but glad to have you back. Silver Server, good morning, Coach and everyone, and back at you. Susan Scott, good to see you. Jameer, good to see you back in the channel for sure. France, this team has a history now of locating unknown or overlooked talent. Hey, I'm down with that. It's a rare ability, and we seem to thrive at it. Yeah, we do, and that's also, I think, why we have so much depth. Think about the guys we just talked about. A lot of these guys at the start of training camp would have been considered probably borderline players. Could they make it? Could they be cut? There were some people saying, hey, Giovanni's ascension might get Skipper kicked out of here. and you go through a laundry list of people that fit that criteria. I still have question marks about Broderick Martin. I'm praying that he can finally turn that gear on, or flip the switch, whatever. But Scoresdale, whatever, it does sound like he's putting himself in a real good spot to make the team. I feel like this is going to be a special year for us. I do too. I think it's Super Bowl 100% this year. So, fellow Lions fans, I don't have social network, but I was wondering, can you actually communicate with players through this network, Facebook, Instagram, X, or whatever? Whether or not it's actually them, I don't know. You can reach out to those products or those sites, and it could be somebody working on behalf of the athlete, or it could just be somebody saying, hey, I am the athlete. You could be getting catfished if you know that term. Drake, who do we get? Now you know, and no one's half the battle. Jameer, hi, Susan. Kurt Steele, what up, though, Duke Crew? Exclamation point. Good to see you, Professor Steele. School's in session. Henry Moore, good morning, Coach Dan and the Duke Crew. What a team. What a podcast. What a time to be a Lions fan. Woo! And back at you, Henry. Biggity, I watched about 3 to 5 different people do breakdown videos on our rookies. After seeing those, I'm left to wonder if we are better than I thought. I mean, it's the $1 million question, man. I mean, I have no doubt in my mind we will be deeper than last year's team. Some of that, though, is because of all the injuries we had last year. We acquired players, developed them, gained confidence in them, and now some of those guys are going to stick around. And you can list, Pat O'Connor, Chris Smith, and a gajillion other players into that mantra. The wide receiver room, I think we all get that thing's pretty dang deep, especially the potentially the tight end room, the running back room, all that. The big question mark was probably the offensive line, but it is looking like, who knows if it'll hold water come the regular season, but it is looking like the Lions, whoever they keep, if they're going to keep 9 or 10 offensive linemen, those guys are all going to be able to play. All right, Stephanie, good morning, boys. Exclamation point. I think Bears are in deep trouble. Anyone see the videos coming out of their fan day event yesterday? Question mark. Williams looked terrible. So I know my brother Tim, and I want to say Hutch Jr. sent me some videos of the Lions. I know I wanted to bring some of those videos up. I'm just not sure how much I can show without YouTube and Google really getting mad at me. So I'm going to just test it with the one interview I showed so far. To your point, though, from the Bears stuff, I know Hutch Jr. sent me a couple of Caleb Williams. Maybe it's credit to the Bears defense, but they looked lost. There was one point Williams kind of rolls out of the pocket. He's got like 2 or 3 guys coming at him, and he just kind of throws across his body downfield. I thought he was trying to throw the ball away. Instead, he threw, I don't know if it was a pick six, but he just threw a jump ball that I think 40 different defenders came down with. We'll see what happens with the Bears. It's still dang early, but it does appear from multiple different reports. I don't pay a ton of attention to it yet. It does sound like Ben Johnson, Caleb Williams, amongst other Bears players, are starting to get, hey, into you're either with me or against me type mode, and that's not good for any team, especially this early. Miles Barker, greatest salutations, coach and crew. Server may have X, IG, X, etc. Yes, but that doesn't mean they reply back because they might run by assistants. Yeah, they could be that if it's even them, because, again, you could get catfish there. Shamir, coach, you still haven't did a Brad Holmes. Yeah. Something I got to work on. Maybe this weekend. The kid's in town. My daughter's in town for the month, so I am trying to spend a little bit more time with her before the season gets here, and she's got to go back to school next month. All right, Phil, good morning. Back at you, Phil. Good to see you. Hey, you got the Orion's belt on your thumbnail, I see there. Jess, greetings and salutations, Duke Crew. I did see that jump ball pick. Yeah, he threw into 20 people and nearly the fans. Stephanie Watt. Yeah. I think maybe a lot of people have seen that video by now. Trey, what's good already? Question mark. I think we versus the Bears. Or I think maybe week 2 versus the Bears might be a nice win for us. Anyone know how Green Bay has been in camp so far? I don't. I have not heard much about Green Bay, or to be fair, the Vikings. So maybe some of you guys have. If you can, throw some thoughts in the comment section. Shamir, you should get Med's brother on the show. I'll reach on out. I know his dad's on the show, I would say 90% of the time. So in case you didn't know, because you haven't been here in a bit, but his dad is a regular in the Duke Crew almost every morning show. Hi, Stephanie. I haven't heard much on Green Bay. Me neither. Until the Hun. They signed an offensive lineman, Justin Herron. Yes, they did. And sounds like, you know what? Maybe he's playing his butt off. Good for him, man. Good for him. Jim, good morning, Duke Crew. I love big-time surprises. Who doesn't like that good surprise, my friend? Jonathan, good morning, everyone in the Duke Crew. Same deal. Until the Hun. He's a camp body to cover for Dan Skipper while he's out there this week. Yeah, and I'm sure he's aware of that too, right? I mean, he understands, hey, I'm basically in here because this guy's hurt. So maybe he's playing his butt off, trying to push himself to the absolute max, which, hey, that makes him better, makes the team better. Maybe he makes a spot. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. So, I see that Attila Hun. I didn't know he was any good. Yeah, so far so good though. How about that? Silver Sir, Miles Margaret, thanks. Attila, he could be. Well, so far 1 day in he is, or 2 days in, whatever it is. 5 figures free. How many teams around the NFL now say, quote, we need to do it the Lions way, end quote? Probably quite a few. The Lions have set a standard. Obviously, they've been successful, and I don't care what industry you're in, what sport you're in. You find someone who's successful, you try to mirror them as much as you can to replicate that product. Jessica, good morning, Duke Crew. Same to you. Silver, remember Roy Williams with those white sleeves flashing around? Used to be called for offensive pass interference every game? Question mark. I am sure it was because those sleeves made him look like a traffic officer. Could be, man. A little bit of a throwback to big-time Roy. Thomas, good morning, Dan and Duke Crew. Exclamation point. Is MCDC going to insist that Morton's play calling be a bit more than in the past? Question mark. Can I get a big Sheila? Woo! Thanks from Alaska. You know what? Just because you're calling in all the way from Alaska, let's give you a 1, 2, and a 3. And there you go. And as in regards to MCDC and Morton, I don't think he's gonna look over his shoulder him, watchdog him or anything. I think he's just gonna let Morton be Morton. But I'm sure they've had some conversations about some expectations, maybe. I don't think he's going to micromanage them. All right, Shreer, I can't wait until the 16th to go to the preseason game. Go enjoy it. Hopefully have a great time. Have a real good time. Hookadoo, Silver Sir, I think Miles Margaret is likely correct, and it's some sort of publicist company they might hire, like an agent or something. Yeah, it could be exactly that. Nice call on that. Carrie, morning crew, same to you. Hookadoo, top of the morning, my brother Grip, Miles Margaret. Oh, yeah, I'm down with that. Silver, I think Rakestraw might have the same problem with the white sleeves. Catch the attention of the refs. He was called for illegal hands to the face. Not sure he gets flagged with blue or black sleeves. Yeah, I think I've shared this story a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away when I first was learning to play sports. Basketball, I had a coach that said, man, if we're the away team, you play on the road, you take the athletic tape, put it all around your wrists. That way, if you were to grab somebody's jersey and hold them on a screen or a hedge or something like that, it's just harder for the refs to see. And then kind of the same thing you're pointing out there. All right, Jameer, last year I had us at 14-3. We went 15-2. So I'll go with my last year prediction. We'll take that. Silver, thumbs up. Carrie, only half of you hit the like button. Hey, if everybody could hit the like button, man, we'd have a heck of a day. Thank you for that, Carrie. Silver is laughing and a thumbs up. Silver done, Carrie. Thank you very much. Hookadoo. I'm staying with the last year. Also, Shamir, 14-3. We'll take that. Big M. I think Rakestraw has an issue staying on the field. Dude always seems injured. It is starting, at least for me, starting to be a little bit concerned. It sounds like most of the injury yesterday might have been a flare-up of the chest contusion, but there are also some reports saying he might have done something to one of his shoulders. So, Steve Rogers, that guy in the chat named Don Kong is a real odd one. Okay, we'll go with that. Hopefully he's okay. He's been around for, man, I think basically since I started the channel. Lions Talk Live fan, good morning all. Back at you. Trim Reaver, good morning. Coach Dan, the world famous Duke Crew. Exclamation point. Woo! Back at you. Hassani Madley. Hey, good morning, Coach Dan, the Duke Crew. Good afternoon over in Cairo. Hopefully having a great start to your day. Hookadoo, done, Gary. Pat Rock, I'm starting to worry about Rakestraw's ability to stay healthy. I think a lot of people are right now. It's a legitimate concern at this point. Shamir Hookadoo, we got this. Let's hope so. Jason, top of the morning, the Duke Crew, Levi Stadium or bust. I like it indeed. Until then, I'm worried about Rakestraw. Yeah, I think there's every reason to have at least some level of concern with his injury status because he just can't stay healthy at this point. Hopefully that changes. Hopefully they get him right, and we all just start talking about how good of an athlete he is. Miles Margaret. Grip morning, darn cats brought in field mouse this morning. Exclamation! I just caught it released. Oh, hey, cats want to have a little fun. Troy, I like the way you're thinking, Jason Berry. I do too. Until then, he was one of my key additions for this season. The field mouse, are we talking about, or Haran? Let me know. Silver. All right, and with great optimism, I see Detroit going 10-7, 11-6 with luck, but they will get in. Exclamation point. And with Aleem and Wingo and go Rodrigo extra. Yeah, man, you get all those guys back. All those positions start getting pretty dang deep. Central Scrutinizer, greetings, sanitation, coach and Duke Crew. Woo! Back at you. Damien, counting down to the Super Bowl parade in Detroit. Exclamation point. Yeah, I said it. Hey, I like the way you're saying. I like the way you're thinking. I think we're going to make it happen. And a very good afternoon to you, Mr. Hassani. It's a great day to have grit for lunch. Oh, yeah, I'm down with that. Mary Smith, good morning. Duke Crew and Lions fans, have a great Monday. Lions Nation, hey, the Lions Nation's all here having a good time, supporting each other. Mary, hopefully you have a phenomenal day. Chuck, good morning, Coach Dan and the Duke Crew. Exclamation point, same to you. Silver Server, Till the Hunt, unfortunately, I share your worries about Rakestraw. We are going to have to concentrate that on a huge optimism. Yeah, you stay positive with him for now. But you know what? If he goes back out, gets healthy, gets hurt again, man, the trend is your friend. It's not a good friend, not a good friend nor trend for Rakestraw. Till then, I see him being better overall team, but without Lee McNeil and a tougher schedule, losing 2 more games than last year and being 13-4. I'll take that. 13 wins. I mean, that's not easy to do in the NFL in a regular season. If we can achieve that, I'd be more than happy. Cynthia, good morning, everybody. Same to you. Silver, Mary, and Cynthia, praying Lions. All right, Big D, morning, Duke Crew. How's it all going? Well, going pretty good. How about you, Big D? Lauren, good morning, Coach Dan and Duke Crew. And back at you. Jennifer, good morning, all. And thank you for that. Vincent E, good morning, Coach Dan and Duke Crew. Woo! Hey, good to see you, Vincent E. Commonwealth D, boo. All right, boo, All right, we'll go with all the above. How about that? Lionel, greetings, salutations, Coach and Duke Crew worldwide. Exclamation point. Is that DJ Glaze? Interesting. Lightning and Thundercats. Oh, I'm down with that. Thomas, good morning. Dan and the Duke Crew. And a great morning to you. Dre Date, no chance 10 wins gets a NFC team in the playoffs, except for a horrible division like the South. Luckily, I think the Bears will win 12 to 13 games and win the North by 1 game again. Okay, I think the Lions will win. Excuse me. Man, I don't know where I got Bears. Luckily, I think the Lions will win 12 to 13 games and win the North by 1 game. I'll take that, man. And sorry I murdered that, Dre Day. I owe you one. Silver Coach, I was glad and surprised to see Baki back in practice already. Yeah, back in practice. I want to see him in the preseason game. Just see what he can do. Start answering some questions for us. Jameer, Mr. Hassan, your son is going to be something special. The more you watch the kid, and especially when you break it down and pay attention to it, I think you're right. I mean, I'm not going to give him a gold jacket. I think he's going to be a pretty good diamond in the rough. And, I'm only bringing this next point up just because it's that time of year where people start buying the Madden football games. But, years and years ago, I did some work for the Madden company or EA Sports, helping with talent and stuff like that and some photos, etc. Here's what I can tell you. They got a whole lot of people that put in a whole lot of time breaking down every dude on a weekly basis in the NFL. Their ratings for him, it can always be wrong, sure. And there's guys that will forever debate their ratings. I should have been higher. This guy's too high, whatever. But you look what they have for Hassanin. I mean, it's hard to argue any of the stats they gave him. It's pretty impressive. The Rebel 08. Good morning, Coach Dan and the Duke Crew. Good to see you, my friend, even though I murder your name sometimes. Xavier, greetings, salutations, Duke Crew. Hope your day is blessed. Exclamation point. Go Lions. Woo! And back at you. Black Jared Jones. Grit. You gotta like grit. Eddie Moore, I think Hooker is losing his sparkle. Let's hope he finds some spark this game. I think if the longer they can keep those two guys competing and having the coaching staff have some level of belief in them, hey, it's going to make them both better. Silver Sir, Hassanin Madley, Lions praying for EG. I'm down with that. Big D, good morning, Mr. Madley. Hope life is blessed for you and the family. 100% there. The Trim Reaper, hit all the buttons, if you would please. I would be thankful. Miles Meyer, Hassanin Madley, good grit morning. Good grit morning to everybody in the Duke Crew. The Rebel 08, Hendon Hooker starting. Yes, we're going to get our opportunity to see him out there with the best talent out there in the preseason. JC, greetings and salutations, Coach and crew. Back at you. Pat, good morning, Coach. How much of that horrible Hall of Fame game did you watch? I watched it all, man. I've watched it all a couple times, but try to watch it, like preseason games, I try to watch it just like I would if I was scouting players, trying to offer some sort of write-ups or recommendations. I don't pay attention to scores. I don't pay attention to the routes. I pay attention to basically each individual athlete that I'm focusing on during that particular series or play, what they're doing. Because to me, that's all that matters. The X's and O's in the preseason, they're all so super vanilla. How much are you really going to gain from watching it? Maybe you get some level of tendencies for what the coordinators are trying to do. But basically, at the end of the day, I want to see how a quarterback reads, how offensive lineman blocks, how a defensive lineman uses their hands and their feet to a certain, I guess, level, but you get that all the different levels. If I'm going to lock on down a certain position, I'm only really focusing on the nuances of that position. Hookadoo, Mouse Marker, they brought the mouse in the house. Hey, they are like friends. This they are, and sometimes they're food. The Rebel in Brad, we trust. I'll go with that. Daniel, good morning. Coach Dan and the Drew Crew, exclamation point, go Lions, back at you. Hopefully you're having a good day, my friend. Xavier, we need depth on all positions just in case of injuries. Hey, man, if there's something that last year proved, it's that you can never have enough depth. Pat, backup quarterback is still really scary. Oh, yeah. Well, hopefully it's less scary after this game. Coach Tanya K, hey, Coach and Duke Crew, back at you. Hopefully nothing but love, well wishes, thoughts, prayers, and hugs to you and the family. I know you're going through some troubled waters right now. Duke Crew's got your back. Sir, anymore. Hooker needs to throw, make mistakes, and learn. I agree with that. How do you learn? You get out there, you fall down sometimes. And I believe he needs to feel trust from the coaches. I think he can do it, especially if he understands that he is a pocket passer. I'll go with that. Let's see what he does this week. Pat, any nice surprises that you see from the Hall of Fame game? Yeah, I think there's quite a few. I get most of us, preseason games, exposition games, or whatever, we pay attention to the score, and we sometimes put so much value in that. Man, we won by a gajillion points. We lost by a gajillion points. I can only speak to myself as coach. I pay no attention to the scores because it doesn't mean jack. What you're holding back, what you're trying to work on, it's basically just a practice against somebody who's not wearing your uniform. That's at least how I view it. I can remember, one of the best teams I ever coached, one of the our first preseason games or practice games, whatever you want to call it. I think we went out, we scored like 6 points, and people were panicking. There was blood in the streets or whatever. We went out, won the state championship that year, and so I was like, how much did that preseason game really determine what we're going to do that season? So you get it. All right, Miles Marker. All right, if I can get these buttons to click here. Come on, work with me. All right, I'll just have to read it. I swear they save critters for later play. There could be. Pat, that was the most disappointing thing you've seen from the Brad game. What was the most disappointing thing I saw from the bad game? Just some of the timing. Not sure what happened there, guys, but apparently it kicked me out for a second. So sorry about that. Let me try to resume my place. Hopefully you guys can hear me and hear me okay. I'm assuming you can. So, all right. I'm just going to try to pick up somewhere because I don't know where we left off exactly. I'll just go with the no. I think we can do better. All right. Oh, man, I don't know. Something happened there with the feed. So sorry about that, guys. I don't know what happened. Kim, heard Hooker was very lackluster in practice yesterday. Didn't appear engaged. That won't last long to be a Lion. It's time to give 100% every time. 100% there. He's going to have to or he'll be out here. Pierce Rakeshaw stopped spending time with Davenport. Might be true. Server. Pierce, say it is no, Pierce. There we go. Let's see. Big M. NGL. I am a little worried about Jared Goff's blind side. Hopefully Decker has a strong season. We need him to be a pillar and on the left side. I agree with that. Yeah, I agree with that indeed. Hookadoo, Spirit of Detroit did a nice video on Hooker Allen Hall of Fame game. Yeah, and I'm going to try to have Avery on tomorrow, so maybe he can break that down for us a little bit. Chris Hill, correction, Boss Up, Ball Out will follow Lions Talk Live at 8 a.m. We'll all be tuning in. Pierce, Chris Steele, my bad, didn't want to mess up your premiere. There we go. Southwest, Straw looking like one of those always hurt guys, and I'm done with Hooker if he stinks Friday. If he stinks Friday, if he doesn't do well, then that's probably a damning statement to your point about what happened last year at the end of the year for the playoffs and him opening up as this season as the number 3 quarterback. So, yeah, you might be right there. The Rebel, can't wait. Exclamation. Get another look at Kelvin Shepard's defense again. I'll go with that. JDC, Dre Ford's rocks, and he rolls. Hassity Malley, sorry for your your name wrong, Mr. Shamir Kernigan. Yeah, you're fine. Hey, I get names wrong, pronunciation, spellings, or otherwise all the time. So trust me, people aren't going to pay attention to that so much. They're kind of conditioned to it. Eddie's Fish, could you use your support for people with disabilities? I have faith in our Detroit Lions fan base. Go Lions. There you go. Server, I don't think Hooker was not engaged in practice. Look at him. He looks calm. He takes it easy. Perhaps, though, he when needed to come through, he'd be calmer and deliver. Yeah, who knows, man? We'll have to wait and see. Cynthia, woo, Hassani, I'm down with that. Pierce, Get a med syrup. How about that? Surpass. How about that? DDI could be maybe in time. Phil, ever had a bruised sternum or cracked ribs or any kind of chest injury? Extreme pain, very limited movement. Racetraw could be fine in time, but rest is the only way to heal. 100% there. Good call there, Phil. Good call indeed. Dre Day. Hooker has too many questions for a backup quarterback. Friday, we'll see if he can answer them, but it doesn't look good knowing the competition will have this game. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Hopefully he looks better. If not, it's probably not going to be a good statement from him. Paris Phil, played with cracked ribs. It's not fun. No, it is not. Man, it's hard to breathe. Phil, Phil, yes, cracked sternum, pain, exclamation point. I'm done with that. Okay, your eyes don't lie. Ahmed Hassanin is a frigging beast. Oh, yeah, I'm done with that. Yeah, I think, man, you think about where he could be 4 weeks from now, let alone 4 months from now, let alone a year from now. We'll wait and see. I like everything I see. I know I've talked about that for months, but you know what? He keeps confirming why we should all believe. Chuck, Hassanin and Hutch, what a pair, and all Lions grit. Their attitude is everything. I'll go with that 100%. Michael, not every player is good at playing musical chair position or the duck, duck, goose game. That might be accurate. The Rebel Hassanin, the Egyptian beast, probably true. Hey, Dolo Dynamite, man, talk about somebody we haven't seen in a hot second. Morning, brother. How you doing today? Hopefully it's a great day wherever you are right now. Southwest, the Jake Bates take was hilarious. Rocket legs. Yeah, man, the dude, if he's legitimately added more strength to that leg, how far can this guy really kick? And I get it's not like 20 or 30 years ago. Everybody in the NFL seems to be able to hit a 60-yarder now. Where it used to be, man, I can remember when I was younger, if you hit a 50-yarder, man, that was like hitting from the other side of the planet. And now people are like, man, if you can't hit 50 yards, you're not even in the NFL. Kurt Steele, training camp updates are fun. You got to love them. Gary, I still want Z and Judon. We'll see if they add them. Maybe they're just waiting until after week 1 of the regular season. I know a number of you guys have speculated on that. Trim Reaper, to the moon, Master Bates. We'll find out. The Rebel, glad to see Jake Bates doing his thing. He's doing that apparently with accuracy and like drive-through strength, whatever I say. Cynthia, Kurt Steele, absolutely. Good morning. Miles Bar, hey, in France. Nice to see you, bro. Grit all day, 100%. Yeah, I wonder if France is still overseas or if he's back here. That I don't know. Verbal Kent, love that movie, by the way. Football's in the air, exclamation point. The love a lot of our additions. I think Rocky Hussein is going to be a difference maker for us. Go Lions. If nothing else, man, he's going to add some phenomenal depth. Special teams, secondary, man, who knows what else he'll do. Sir, still remember when Ravens kicked the 6 of 7 field goals to beat the Lions in Detroit? Sure would not mind Lions beating them in Baltimore with a 70-yard field goal. Yeah, have it bounce off, the crossbar and in sort of like they did to us. MCDC's first year. Okay, Carrie on the same page. Excellent point. Kurt, Cynthia, good morning. Trim Reaper, do we still have Muhammad? Yes. Hassan, yeah, I think he's still there, although I haven't heard his name recently, but I believe he is still here. Thomas Bears, who cares? Hey, we're going to care week 2. Hopefully we bear down on them. See what I did there? Sir, before the season, everything looks good. Then you have to deal with the real season. I like that. The way the season takes shape, but whichever shape we take, hopefully they bring the trophy. End of the day, we get a Super Bowl trophy. That's all anybody's going to talk about or care about. Good sale, Trim Reaper. Yeah, he came off the pub list recently. There we go. Let's see. Thomas Campbell said quarterbacks are going to split this game with half one the other. I think that's the mistake. Hooker should get the entire game. Yeah, I guess the coaches want to see both guys and how they perform. Trim Reaper, I thought Muhammad did a fantastic job last season, but may lose out to the depth. Who knows, man? It's his spot to win or lose, so we'll just see what the kid can do. Trim Reaper, thanks, Kurt. Hope he sticks around. I do, too. I really like what we saw out of him last year, and it seemed like Dan Campbell was a fan of him. We'll put it that way. Kurt Steele, Trim Reaper, they are working him in slowly. I agree with that. Dre Day, Vikings and Packers look decent, but still not better than Lions, but Vikings look like a 10-11 win team. Yeah, I don't think they're going to fall off exponentially unless J.J. McCarthy, man, he just really, really isn't ready. Servers are Thomas. Lions don't want to sack Allen yet, and they don't want Hooker to think he's already got it. Yeah, it could be that. Trim Reaper, you can call me anything you want, but don't call me that. We won't call you that. Chad, the historian, greetings, salutations. Happy Monday morning, Coach Dan and the Duco. How long until we see Count Allen gone? That's a great question. I don't know the answer. Michael, Legatron kicking 70-plus yard field goals. Let's hope we don't have to use that approach to win games. But, Jason Hansen won a lot of games where the offense couldn't score points. He did, man. Sometimes he was the only offense out there. Hassanin Madley, thank you, Cynthia, and everyone supporting my son, Ahmed Hassanin, and I know he will do his best. It will never let you down as long as you believe in him. Thank you. I think a lot of people are believing in him more and more with every passing week. Carrie, Trim, I surely won't. Trim Reaper, good morning, Mr. Hassanin. Chad the Historian, I'll say 11-6. I'll take that. Trim Reaper is laughing. Phil, my best Donkey Kong impression, Super Bowl or bust. Hey, there we go. It feels like a minute since he said that. Trim Reaper, I surely appreciate that. We won't call you that. Phil, your cat loves you if you brings you mice. There you go. Yeah, trying to give you a present. Gary, your appreciation is surely appreciated. There we go. It's very appreciative. Trim Reaper, we got to go hang out with Geronimo after this. My favorite ghost cat. There you go. Ranty Cute. Now talk about somebody I haven't seen in a hot second. Good to see you, my friend. My friend, Mr. Hassanin, we love your son. Let's go Lions. 100% there. And I think he's going to be a massive fan favorite probably by the middle of the season, if not by the end of the season, if he's not already. Brian C., I'm pulling for Rakestraw. I am too, man. Get that thing healthy, get it right, get out of the field, and prove everybody your worth. Randy Q, great salutations, fellow Duke crew, and back at you. Hopefully you're having a phenomenal start to your day. Trim Reaper, surely, indeed. Henry Moore, 19 wins and a wake-up. I'll take that. Brian, cats will give you mice as a gift of love. Truth, I concur. Jason, Stephanie's comment on the Bears struggles is great to hear. Yeah, it does sound like, and I know we pay attention to them because of the Ben Johnson, connection, all that stuff, but it does sound like they're struggling quite a bit. Miles Margaret, I know, right, Brian? Don't understand. No, thank you. I'm down with that. Jacob, my only concern is for quarterback play. I don't think it's now to pull the trigger on a decent backup quarterback. If both quarterbacks really struggle this particular week, I do wonder if the Lions go out and try to sign somebody if they don't have faith or enough faith in either of the current backups. It'll be a good question to get an answer to. A Lions bad guy fan, preseason for the Lions needs a different name. Laughing out loud, only third and fourth stringers for the most part. You're right. Yeah, the joint practices, I think, are what this coaching staff and regime really focuses on more. The Rebel, I love when you butcher my name, Coach Dan. Woo! Hey, man, I'll try not to do it as much as I used to, but it does happen. Trim River, the cat brings you grit, loves you. Go Lions. I'm down with that. Coach Tiny K, I'm going to text you later, Coach. I do need your help. Thanks. Hey, anytime you let me know, I'll try to help out as best I can. Miles Meyer, we got your back. Coach Tiny K, wishing better days for you and yours. 1,000% there. Gary, the Bears are having troubles with the team like they had troubles flushing for the last 40 years. I'll go with that. Phil, off. Let's see, Kurt Steele. Prayers for you and the family, Coach Tiny K. I do agree. Let's all kind of throw some love her way and the family's way. Chad the Stern. Dr. Detroit, best part of the show. Laughing out loud is me murdering names. Probably a lot of truth to that, Dr. Detroit. Kurt Steele, Dr. Detroit laughing. Dr. Detroit, TJ Burns, good morning to all, and back at you. Kurt Steele, Dr. Detroit, you crazy, bro. I'll go with that. Remember, it isn't defense that bends. Let's hope not. Rolf says, Dr. Detroit, TJ, so that Bears video with Caleb missing every pass and square net drill, not a good sign, and his reaction to missing all the three throws was pure high school. Yeah, I get they're struggling. I get he's got some pressure on him. We'll just see how it plays out. You can look one particular way. I remember, whatever it was, maybe like 4 years ago or something like that. There were a whole lot of content creators. I don't remember which team it was, but the team didn't look good week one. Everyone was like, man, they're going to go 0-16. And that team ended up making the playoffs or whatever. I don't remember what it was, but the NFL level, so much can change from the preseason to the first few weeks of the regular season. I don't write anybody off until typically week 6. If you're 0-6, you're probably not turning it around. We'll go that way. Dr. Troy, I have a master's in the smart. I'll go with that. Hey, congratulations. Nothing wrong with that. Charm Raver, you may be a cunning linguist, but I'm a master debater. There you go. Let's see. Brian, Stafford always looked good in practice, then a bum turnover machine. I don't care how much someone looks in practice personally. Yeah, there have been people I've coached, and not just in one sport, multiple different sports. You would have thought they were the greatest athlete in the planet in practice. Then they get in the game and they melt. And some people just have sports-induced anxiety, and it really is debilitating to them. Dr. Detroit, masturbator, you are. Dr. Detroit is laughing. Pierce, Dr. Detroit, working in TV news as long as I have a honorary PhD in wise ass. I'm down with that. Dr. Detroit is laughing. TJ, it was 10-yard drill, and he missed badly. Come on, man. Hey, there we go. Congratulations, I guess. Trim Reaper, the best. I'm down with that. JDC, Born and bred to rip and shred. Go Lions. I like the way you're thinking. Miles Bart, wonder if you see Kirk Cousins quarterbacking on Friday. Rossi's running joke in his contract. It might be. Phil Papa, so great. They named it twice. Yes, they did indeed. Here's Johnny 2.0. Talk about somebody you haven't seen us say. Zippy doo da day, everybody. Back at you. Thomas, smash that like if you would. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit all the buttons. JDC, happy trails. Go Lions victory. We'll see you next time. Until then, Coach, I was referencing the field mouse. I think he could play backup safety. Hey, there you go. He's staying alive, if nothing else. Thomas, Allen with more reps will be fine. Probably. I think when I watch him play in at least the Hall of Fame game, a lot of his mistakes were just timing issues, unfamiliarity with the offense. You get more reps, the brain thinks faster, you slim down that half-second difference to a quarter difference to now it's fully on time. Hooker, I think he made some good reads. It's just a little bit off here and there. And again, maybe more reps cleans that up. Coach Sonic K, thank you guys for the last 2 months. Has almost taken me out, but I'm trying to bounce back now. Love ya, all. We love you all. We got your back. Need anything, just let us know. Hooker, happy trails, do crew, one pride worldwide. Same to you, Brian. Never see the Z Force with Hutch kind of upset me off of the just saying. We'll go with that. Thomas, how long did it take you to learn to say Jen? To spell it, probably quite a while. TJ Burns, so did I just hear we signed D Smith? If we did, I haven't seen it. Maybe it's happened. Let's see if you guys getting news on that. I guess I'll have to check it when I get off air here. But man, I don't have my phone. Maybe if they've signed them, I guess I'll have to get back on air with some breaking news. But yeah, I'll look into that once we're off the air here. All right, Miles Marker, one pride worldwide. Back at you, Trim Reaper. Have a great day, Coach and Duke crew. Back at you, and hey, have a good one. All right, guys, I'll look into the Zadarius Smith thing. If you guys know he just signed with the Lions, I guess let me know in the comment section. If there is breaking news later today, I'll get it over to you as quick as possible. If you would be so kind before checking up and heading over to the Boss Up Ball Out podcast, hit the thumbs up button, hit the subscribe button, hit all the buttons, be a good human being, do something kind for somebody you don't know, and we'll see you all on the next Lions Talk Live. Take care, everybody.
Excuse me, sir, would you... Donations to the Reverend Moon? Jews for Jesus? Read about Jehovah's Witness? How about Buddhism? Help Jerry's kids? Oh, yeah. Scientology? Or nuclear power?